championship game for the Abington Bank Sean Cotter Invitational Tournament here at Abington High School. Please join me in welcoming now the players and coaches from Rockland High School and Cape Cod Academy. For tonight's game, please direct your attention to the visitors bench area as we now announce the starting lineup for the Rockland Bulldogs. Starting at guard, number 20, sophomore Dan Johnson. Starting at forward, number 13, junior Jordan DePina. Starting at guard, number 11, senior captain Gavin Wardwell. Starting at forward, number 21, senior captain Michael Moriarty. And starting at guard, number 23, senior captain Lucas Leander. The Bulldogs are led by their head coach, Fred Damon, with assistant coaches Chuck McDonald, Nick Licori, Dan Bailey, and Matt Enzalone. And now, please join me in welcoming the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks. Starting tonight for the Seahawks. Starting at center, number 22, freshman Jamison Cassidy. Starting at forward, number 25, freshman Mike Berry. Starting at guard, number 2, junior Trey Merritt. Starting at guard, number 4, sophomore captain Tamar Washington. And starting at forward, number 14, senior captain Thomas Bissett. The Seahawks are led by their head coach, Adam Rose, and their assistant coach, David Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all now please rise and remove your hats as we pay tribute to our country and to those who defend our freedom by playing our national anthem. Tonight's referees are Jay Walsh, Dave Terrio, and Dre Schultz. All of tonight's student athletes, coaches, and officials have worked diligently to prepare for this game. The MIAA asks that you please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all in attendance.
Welcome inside Abington High School for the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament Championship between the Rockland Bulldogs and the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks. Once again, I am James Madden, joined alongside my broadcast partner, the one and the only, Sean Riley. Sean, this should be a fun one, a championship matchup between two teams that saw each other in the first round of last year's tournament, and two teams one team we're very familiar with, and one team we saw Monday night who put on a show for us in a 1-point win over the Green Wave, 82-81.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It should be an exciting game. A lot of good basketball talent out there on the court. Some local names, as you just mentioned, and some guys from the other side of the bridge. Once again, as we saw in the first game, with the Abington Sandwich game.
The starters for tonight's ball game. First, for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks, we have Trey Merritt, Tamar Washington, Thomas Brissett, Jamison Cassidy, and Mike Berry. For Rockland, we have Gavin Wardwell, Michael Moriarty, Lucas Leander, Daniel Johnson, and Jordan DePina. Mike Berry, three-point attempt from the corner is no good. Rebound by Johnson. Mike Berry had a terrific game Monday night. Only a freshman, him and Tamar Washington, a sophomore, stole the show for the Seahawks.
Tamar just picked up his quick early foul. Very good defensive ball player. Tamar, he's obviously a good offensive player too. Leander, one of the captains of all the sports for Rockland, has quite a great high school athletic record.
Moriarty in the post, guarded by Brissett. Moriarty, layup attempt is no good. Rebound by Berry. And Tamar Washington, who we just touched on, my personal player comparison with an NBA player, Jose Alvarado of the New Orleans Pelicans. Any basketball junkies knows how much he can relate to Alvarado. But Cassidy down the lane, and a blocking foul called against Lucas Leander. And we said it Monday night, Coach Damon is as passionate as it gets on the sidelines.
It's fun to watch. That was a nice take by Jamison Cassidy, number 22. He's a freshman. Big body out there as a freshman. Along with number 25, Mike Berry is a freshman. That ball was targeted for Berry, but it's taken away by the Bulldogs.
Johnson's layup attempt is no good. It was stolen away by Jordan DePina. DePina thought about the three, but finds Moriarty, the leading scorer of the South Shore League. In Moriarty, three-point attempt from the corner is no good, off the back iron. Rebound by Berry.
Moriarty's another example of a big man with good feet, real quick feet.
Brissett down the lane, was looking for Cassidy, went out of bounds off Moriarty. And Michael Moriarty, also the quarterback of their football team.
He'll be graduating this year.
Tamar Washington, three-point attempt from the corner is no good. Rebound by DePina. Baseball pass finds Wardwell in transition, and a foul call that's going to go against Trey Merritt. Trey Merritt, the junior for the Seahawks.
Merritt and Leander play very similarly. You know, both about the same height, both real quick, very versatile athletes.
The first free throw attempt from Wardwell is good. Gavin Wardwell, one of the three senior captains for this Rockland Bulldogs lineup. No good on a second attempt. Rebounded by Thomas Brissett.
Senior captain for the Seahawks.
Berry one-on-one with Moriarty. Step back three from Berry is off the mark. Rebounded by Cassidy. Cassidy kicks it over to Berry, and Berry lays it home and gets Cape Cod Academy into the scoring column for the first time tonight.
Nice job by Berry filling the open spot there on the weak side.
Jordan DePino, another player who had a terrific night Monday night, especially led a second half surge for the Rockland Bulldogs. Knocked down a couple big-time threes alongside Gavin Wardwell for the Bulldogs. And Moriarty gets the offensive rebound and goes up and draws the foul. Michael Moriarty will head to the line for two shots.
Good example of a big man getting the ball, keeping up above his shoulders and going straight up. Get the foul early in the game.
Charged against Thomas Brissett, his first personal. Moriarty connects on his first free throw attempt.
Freddie Damon, the Rockland coach, Adam Rose, Cape Cod coach. Two intense coaches.
Two very skilled coaches at that as well.
Coach Rose has a little sore throat, raspy throat. I don't know how Fred Damon doesn't.
Merritt kicks it over. Berry, three-point attempt from the corner. It's too long. Rebounded. No rebound, goes out of bounds. Last off Thomas Brissett. And Rockland will take over the possession.
Good job by Moriarty going out just to try to challenge Berry, because Berry was deadly from outside against us just 2 nights ago. DePina brings it up over midcourt for the Bulldogs.
Johnson lost his footing, kept the possession, and a timeout. Much to the demise of the Cape Cod Academy faithful. Coach Damon did get the timeout in time. Daniel Johnson lost his footing. The first charge timeout for the Rockland Bulldogs. 5:10 remaining in the first quarter. The Bulldogs lead 5-2.
Johnson's the sophomore, number 20 for the Bulldogs. I think they're looking for a future with him being one of their leaders coming up in the next 2 years. Both of these teams are going to be playing in the postseason in the MIAA. A victory here just might kind of move them up a little half a notch or something here. We'll see where it takes them. Rockland in the South Shore League, but in the large school division, right? And Abington's in the small.
I believe vice versa.
Yeah.
I believe vice versa, yeah. I think
Yeah.
Rockland's in the Tobin division, the Green Wave in the Sullivan division, but it's going to switch
Yeah, they're
next
going to
year.
change it again.
Yep, next year it's going to switch with the addition of a team we just saw, Sandwich, moving into the South Shore League.
Sandwich's athletic director is now Neil Murphy, an Abington High School graduate. And Neil's brother, Larry Murphy, you know what Larry does for a living?
What does he do?
He is one of the writers for Bob's Burgers, also one of the voices for Bob's Burgers on television.
I did not know that. I knew their athletic director, Neil Murphy. He used to pitch for the Green Wave way back in the day.
Yeah.
I knew he was an Abington High School graduate. I didn't know that his brother was a skilled TV writer.
Certainly is. Yeah, done very well, another Abington High School grad.
DePina, three-point attempt is good. Jordan DePina picking up right where he left off after Monday night's hot streak from beyond the arc. DePina knocks down his first three-point attempt of the ball game. And an entry pass intended for Cassidy was too wide and out of bounds. Rockland is running, and they get a quick inbound. And it looked like Cape Cod Academy wasn't quite ready, but to no prevail, Rockland didn't find a quick transition look like they had hoped for.
Oop.
Johnson down the lane and whistled for a travel.
Kind of got tripped up going in, but still a travel.
Let's go.
Tamar Washington bringing it up over midcourt with Leander on him. Washington sees the court really well, and see what he does here. Nice has to launch one, but gets a good bounce to his teammate.
A lot of contact on the Jamison Cassidy layup attempt.
Keep an eye on Tamar. He's doing it right now. Where you mentioned it in the last game how he kind of likes to hide in the corner, blend in with the crowd, and gets a couple of steals. He's a smart ball player.
And that's where I got my Jose Alvarado comparison for. Jose Alvarado does the same thing, hides in the crowd, and then comes out of nowhere for the steal.
Was he the guy who was hiding behind the coach on the sideline? Jose?
Oh, yes, and
Yeah.
he did. I don't know if you saw the dunk contest where he came out of nowhere and stole it from his teammate, Trey Murphy, threw it off the glass, and Murphy did some crazy dunk, something I couldn't do. But, yeah, I think if I've ever seen a Jose Alvarado in MIA basketball, Tamar Washington is the guy.
Uh-oh. Rob Key is wearing number 3 tonight. He was on the roster as number 3 on Monday night, but he was wearing jersey 12. We were told he was going to wear 12 tonight, but now he's wearing jersey number 3.
And it's going to be a technical foul, yep.
Yep. So it's a technical foul for basically kind of like an illegal substitution. He can continue to play.
And we had that in a game I can't remember which game it was. We had something similar. I want to say it was a girls' game.
Yeah, you got to be in the book with the correct number. In fact, we kind of checked on that before we started to make sure we had it right because I was asked to update the roster. And at the time, they had their warm-up jerseys on, and one of the members from Cape Cod Academy said, yeah, he's wearing 12 tonight. And he took the warm-up off, and he's wearing number 3. But those things happen. Sometimes they either lose a jersey or a jersey gets blood on it or whatever, and they got to change numbers. But it gives Rockland 2 free points.
And another little nugget, this is the third game today, third game at Abington High School. All 3 games have featured a technical foul.
That's right.
For anyone keeping track back at home.
You don't see that very often.
This is a little different than the other 2 technical fouls today, but
An administrative technical foul.
Mikey Santos newly entered into the game for the Seahawks. Moriarty layup attempt is no good. Johnson on the follow. And that was eventually gathered by Kyle Robka.
Robka's a good player. He's a sophomore.
Talk about a guy who can knock down the outside shot. I believe he had 3 threes.
He's lined up in the corner right now.
Wave.
Oh, nice pass.
And the foul for Mikey Santos. A beautiful feed from Trey Merritt. And Mikey Santos goes to the line with a chance to complete the three-point play.
A lot of coaches in the stands shouting out their advice to their sons or players.
And I'm sure the real coaches on the sideline always love that, as you can imagine. But Santos completes the three-point play and an errant pass from Lucas Leander. And the possession is headed right back in the favor of the Seahawks with a chance to make it a one-possession ball game.
Barry with the ball. He's dangerous. Nice spin. Oh, good looking pass inside, but just didn't connect. And that's going to be too deep for Moriarty, so here comes Tamar Washington. Back and forth they go.
Washington, straightaway three is short. Santos with the follow and is good. Mikey Santos, newly entered to the game. Big impact for the Seahawks. They trail by 3. Layup attempt was no good from Leander. Daniel Johnson with the offensive rebound. And Moriarty pump fake nobody, but draws the foul and will head to the line for 2 shots.
Moriarty's got to go to the line shooting 2 with a 3-point lead.
Santos charged with a foul for the Seahawks. No good from the line is Moriarty on his first attempt. New into the game for the Bulldogs, we have Taryn Williams, a Daniel Casamajor.
DJ, they call him.
One for 2 from the line is Moriarty, extending the Rockland lead to 4, 11-7. Trey Merritt down the lane. In the corner is Robka. His three-point attempt is off the mark, rebounded by Williams.
Those will start falling for Cape Cod. They were doing a lot of damage. Nice move by Moriarty, +1. Quick on his feet.
A strong finish at the rim from Michael Moriarty, showing why he's the South Shore League's leading scorer, and he will head to the line with a chance to complete the three-point play.
His 7th point with an opportunity to make it 8. You know, a lot of people don't like the use of the 3 referees during the playoffs because it's 2 referees throughout the entire season, and there's always the fear that the referees feel like they have to all be involved and blow their whistle, and do you call it fouls you wouldn't normally call, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Washington.
Thomas Brissett ready to check back into the ball game. Credit DJ Casamajor. He drew the charge there, just a freshman.
That was a pretty good contact there, full speed.
And you can see why Coach Damon has a freshman in the championship game in the first quarter. It's because he's willing to step in front of a driver and draw a charge like that.
DePina trying to talk with his coaching staff, making sure that his teammates are all on board, whatever they're thinking for the offense.
Moriarty lost the handle. It was stolen away by Brissett. Three-point attempt in the corner from Robka is no good. Rebounded by Berry.
Rebound.
Berry had it poked away by DJ Casamajor. It goes out of bounds last off Casamajor, and Cape Cod Academy will keep the ball under the hoop.
Strong rebound by Berry.
A 5-second violation. Brissett tried to throw it off the leg of DePina, but he was too late, and they turn it over. Rockland will take back the ball.
14-7 Rockland lead here. Under 2 to go in the first quarter of the championship game 2023 Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament sponsored by Avenue Bank.
DePina, 3 rimmed out. Mike Berry with the rebound. It was poked away by Moriarty, but a foul call goes against Michael Moriarty. And Moriarty unhappy with the call, his first personal. DePina will check out of the game, and replacing him is the junior Dominic White.
Brissett's got to inbound over to Trey Merritt. Merritt with the yellow sneakers.
High post is Berry. Berry's fadeaway jumper was rejected by Moriarty, and they will have a baseline out of bounds. Leander back into the game, replacing Wardwell. Also back into the game for the Seahawks is Jamison Cassidy. He replaces Mikey Santos.
A couple of good minutes there by Santos.
5 of their 7 points for Mikey Santos.
Wow. All right.
Brissett was swarmed by Rockland defenders in finally a foul call. That one goes against Lucas Leander, his second personal, and Gavin Wardwell right back in the game for the Bulldogs.
Typically, you don't get that jump ball in that first 3 or 4 seconds. It's got to end up a foul, and that's what happened there.
Another foul call on a Jamison Cassidy jump hook attempt, and Cassidy will head to the line for 2 shots.
Rockland trying to knock the ball away down low as the big men are going up.
And if I'm Cape Cod Academy, I'm going to continue to feed the big men down low, Mike Berry and Jamison Cassidy, because they definitely have a size advantage over Rockland.
They do it if they can get some passes up above the shoulders where guys like Berry and Cassidy can keep it up there. You're just asking for guys to try to swat it, which would be a very visible foul for the referees to pick up.
Cassidy 2 for 2 from the line for the Seahawks. And a pass was almost stolen away by Brissett, but gathered by Williams. Bouncing around everywhere, but finally controlled by Gavin Wardwell. Casamajor's 3-point attempt from the corner is good. DJ Casamajor from the corner. They give the Rockland Bulldogs an 8-point lead, 17-9.
45 seconds.
And an illegal screen this time going against Jamison Cassidy.
We saw a couple of those in the game when they played against Abington. Some of the younger guys not, basically setting up the screen and holding their ground, but they're instead shuffling their feet and getting the call for the moving screen.
The first personal foul against Cassidy. Already the 7th team foul for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks.
DJ Casamajor brings it up now inside to Moriarty very quickly, and nice play by Moriarty.
And Michael Moriarty with a strong finish through the contact. He heads to the line, chance to complete the 3-point play, and what a game so far for Michael Moriarty.
He's got 10 according to my stats. We'll defer to Don Whitman. 11. All here in the first quarter. Takes a breather.
Some full court pressure from the Bulldogs. Shot clock turned off for Cape Cod Academy. Mike Berry guarded by Johnson. Down the lane, a strong finish and gets the friendly bounce. Mike Berry with a finish at the rim, cutting Rockland's lead down to 9.
A lot of bodies being pushed around underneath there. 12.5 on the clock. Moriarty checks back in here.
He replaces Brandon Camo. 12.5 seconds. Rockland could hold for the last shot if they choose to. Moriarty probably on for some offensive purposes. Williams in the corner. Johnson, 3 on the shot on the clock. Casamajor at the buzzer is good. Daniel Casamajor from the logo knocks down the 3, and Rockland leads by 12, 23-11. Casamajor coming up with some big-time threes late in that first quarter to extend the Rockland lead to 12.
That was huge. He had to rush that. Clock was rolling down. He got it off just in time. Picks up an extra 3 to spread that lead to 12 points there. But Cape Cod Academy, if they start getting help from outside, they're going to give Rockland a run for their money. The Rockland defense really kind of getting out there, challenging those outside shots, which is going to be critical. Don't let them get comfortable out there. Trying to play music and do stats and do commentary. Getting a little better at it.
He does it all, folks. Sean Riley.
Well, we're going to thank Kevin Tachi for getting us this little wireless unit here so we can kind of sit in one place and do them all.
The Green Wave hockey team in action.
Yep.
In just under a half an hour. Make that 17 minutes at 7:50. They take on the Quincy Presidents their senior night over at Rockland Rink. I used to be a DJ back in my day for the Green Wave hockey team.
I heard you were a pretty good one too.
Guess I have to let the team decide. You know, I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I like the music I played.
Well, I've heard rave reviews about your rave.
Berry was intended for Merritt, was stolen away by Wardwell. Moriarty's mid-range jumper no good. A rebound by Johnson. Johnson is fouled on the follow attempt. I believe the foul will go against Jamison Cassidy.
It does.
And Daniel Johnson at the line for 2 shots. Mikey Santos and Tamar Washington ready to come back into the game for the Seahawks. Johnson is good at the line on his first attempt. Like you said, only a sophomore, a starter for this Rockland Bulldogs team. A little bit of both seniority and some youngsters on the team. We've seen Casamajor, Daniel Johnson, 2 freshmen and a sophomore, as well as the 3 big players for them, Leander, Wardwell, and Moriarty, 3 seniors for the Bulldogs.
Johnson comes out of nowhere and is able to knock the ball away. Back come the Bulldogs. Woodwell.
Johnson, top of the key. Gavin Wardwell, 3-point attempt from the wing is off the mark. Rebounded by Taryn Williams, and Williams up through the contact, no call. Kyle Robka with the rebound for the Cape Cod Academy.
Coach Rose looking for some calls. A lot of bodies.
Santos in the post.
DJ Casamajor slapped that away underneath.
Kyle Robka, 3-point attempt is no good. Bodies flying everywhere, out of bounds off of the Seahawks. Rockland takes back the possession, 6:53 to play in the first half.
Full contact basketball out there right now.
Washington heavily guarding Casamajor.
Ooh.
And a short pass almost was stolen away by Washington, but went out of bounds off of Tamar Washington. Rockland catches a break and keeps the possession. Taryn Williams was looking for Daniel Casamajor.
Casamajor, a freshman, and Washington, number 4, a sophomore.
Cape Cod Academy does, however, force a turnover. 6.5 to play. Slow start offensively compared to how they fared on the offensive end of the floor Monday night, putting up 82 points in their win over the Green Wave. Brissett's layup attempt no good, but gets his own miss and follows through. Thomas Brissett into the scoring column for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks.
First shot was altered, got that rebound, put it right back up.
And stolen away by Brissett. A little bit of a momentum swing for the Seahawks. Brissett down the lane, and a blocking foul goes against Johnson. Daniel Johnson stepped in and tried to draw the charge against Brissett, but Brissett will head to the line for 2 shots, and that'll be the first personal foul on Daniel Johnson.
Set senior captain. DePina checks back in.
Taryn Williams, some big minutes, especially on the defensive end of the floor for the Bulldogs.
Taryn's a junior for Rockland, so we'll see more of him next year also.
0 for 2 from the line is Brissett. Mikey Santos with an offensive rebound, and a pass intended for Robka goes out of bounds. Some full court pressure from the Seahawks. Robka was guarding DePina. Now it's Casamajor and Washington. An entry pass was almost stolen away. Wardwell swarmed to the corner, but is stolen away. Merritt now, he finds Washington. Washington comes up with the loose ball. Robka from the corner, no good. Rebound by DePina. Moriarty coast to coast through the contact and lays it in. Michael Moriarty continues his terrific first half, and Rockland leads by 14.
They don't have an answer for him yet.
Washington one-on-one with DePina.
The set flashes up top. Knocked away, though, by Johnson.
And we said it during the last game, Rockland is as good of a team when it comes to defense, and they've shown it here tonight. Cape Cod Academy put up 82 points on Monday night, only 13 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Brandon Camo coming back into the game, giving Moriarty a breather. Washington now going to run the offense from up top.
Brissett finds Mike Berry in the post. Mike Berry mid-range jumper is no good, rebounded by Lucas Leander.
PC, the ball. Camo.
Camo, a lot of contact, no call. Thomas Brissett with a defensive rebound. Washington now in transition, poked away by Leander, and Brissett now down the lane. And another blocking foul goes against Daniel Johnson.
And Johnson's down, shaking up a bit.
Daniel Johnson, second personal foul.
1-on-1 for the Seahawks. He'll be shooting here with a 14-point deficit. So Thomas Brissett goes to the line for the Seahawks. Looking to chip away. With 4.5 to go here in the first half of the championship game of the 2023 Sean P. Cotter Invitational.
No good. No good on the first end of the one-on-one for Brissett.
0 for 3 in the second quarter with foul shots.
4:20 to play in the second quarter. Rockland leads by 14, 27-13. Mid-range jumper from Moriarty is good, and Moriarty is hitting on all cylinders for the Bulldogs. They lead by 16.
Amazing the touch he can, where he can stop, fake, still just kind of roll it up.
Berry's mid-range jumper, floater, no good. Casamajor came up with the loose ball. And a foul call goes against Tamar Washington.
Foul call from across the court. Tamar pleading his case. He's intense.
His third personal.
Is it his third? It is.
Robka back into the game, or ready to get back into the game for the Seahawks. Casamajor, 2 shots at the line.
Because they're in the penalty. In and out.
Casamajor has played some terrific minutes for the Bulldogs. He came in late in the first quarter and hasn't seen the bench since. Casamajor, just a freshman, will be a key piece to their future at Rockland High. 1 for 2 from the line. Coming back into the game for the Bulldogs is Dominic White. He replaces Casamajor. Kind of jinxed it, but Casamajor, some terrific minutes for the Bulldogs.
Berry with the ball outside, freshman. Moriarty on him, showing the respect for the freshman. Incomplete pass, though, goes out of bounds.
And Coach Rose calls his first time out of the ball game. Rockland up big with 3:41 to play in the first half. They lead in the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament Championship 30-13.
I want to thank Abington Bank for sponsoring this tournament each year. The first night of the tournament, which is held on the Monday of the school vacation week, they give away free T-shirts to first 250 fans. And they're nice, good quality T-shirts, kind of a collector's item. So a lot of fans from all 4 schools were able to get the free T-shirts, sponsored by Abington Bank. And they also give out free warm-up jerseys for all of the 4 teams to keep as a keepsake. And we'll likely see a lot of these guys back here next year for the Cotter tournament. Great opportunity for these teams to prepare for the postseason where they're playing in a away gym with a little music, a little loudness, something that, it's a good quality competition. And we love the support from Cape Cod Academy, Rockland, and Sandwich for this really special tournament that Abington High School hosts.
A great annual tradition here at Abington High School. Always fun, always 3 highly competitive teams that come here. Same 3 teams we saw last season. I'm not sure.
We've had Pembroke here before, and was it Silver Lake? I can't remember who it was now, but we've had, mix it up every couple of years.
There's been so many great teams to come through Abington High at the Sean Cotter tournament. Mike Berry, 3-point attempt, no good. Out of bounds, the last touch to Mikey Santos. Rockland will take back the possession.
Moriarty out high. Dishes it away. They go in the corner for DePina.
No good.
Oh, nice follow. Brissett looking for what the call was. It is called a foul on Brissett. Honestly, I didn't see the contact, but somebody else did.
Third personal for Thomas Brissett. A lot of players in foul trouble for the Seahawks. And that is Jamison Cassidy ready to check back in for Cape Cod Academy. No good on his first free throw attempt is Dominic White. Rather, checking into the game for Cape Cod Academy, Harrison Loft, the sophomore, replacing Brissett. The first we've seen of him tonight. An offensive rebound for Rockland. That was rebounded by Brandon Camo. Moriarty one-on-one with Berry. Through the contact and one.
How does he do it?
Michael Moriarty continuing his unbelievable first half for the Bulldogs, pushing their lead up to 19, 32-13, and there's not much Mike Berry can do because Moriarty is just having his will.
He had 11 in the first half. He's got 7 first quarter. He's got 7 here thus far in the second quarter.
Box out.
Which is more than half the Rockland points.
Trey Merritt coming away with the rebound for the Seahawks. He had a pass intended for Loft, but Loft mishandled it and out of bounds off of the Seahawks. And Rockland just kind of getting every bounce here tonight.
In the first half. Rockland had a horrible first quarter in their game on Monday night, where they had only 3 points. And then the next 3 quarters, they played Rockland basketball, were able to get the victory over Sandwich. And really, we haven't seen the Seahawks with some consistent shooting yet. See if that changes in the second half.
Moriarty's mid-range jump shot was no good. Berry one-on-one with Moriarty. Now Trey Merritt has been the primary ball handler with Washington on the bench with foul trouble, and Merritt drives down the lane and draws the foul. He will head to the line for 2 shots.
Foul called on Dominic White. Merritt trying to make something happen there, and he got the foul call.
Merritt was a member of their team last season. Played a big part in their rotation. Started for them, had a terrific tournament last season. The Green Wave obviously took on the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks in the final. Merritt knocked down his first free throw attempt.
Wardwell and Williams just checked in for Rockland, number 11 and 12 respectively.
Perfect from the line is Trey Merritt, cutting the Rockland lead down to 17. Casamajor was wide open down the floor, but DePina didn't see him, and Rockland will slow it down. Casamajor guarded by Santos. A great pass. Terran Williams couldn't handle it, but he draws the foul as he went up to the hoop. Foul called against Harrison Loft, his first personal.
Williams will go to the line.
James knocks down his first free throw attempt. And any Rockland team you'll find them to be very good at free throws. Coach Damon always has a great team fundamentally, and Rockland showing again why they're very good at free throws. And I jinxed it once again, but that's the perks of doing the job. You're gonna jinx.
Right.
You're gonna jinx things.
Moriarty trying to keep Berry honest. Berry gets the 2.
Strong finish from Mike Berry. Elected to not use the screen and finished at the rim, cutting the lead down to 16, 33-17. Casamajor in the corner. Moriarty, top of the key, one-on-one with Berry. They've been going at it all night long. Gavin Wardwell's three-point attempt is off the mark. And out of bounds. DePina and Berry were running for it, but out of bounds off of the long rebound, and Cape Cod Academy will take back the possession.
Move without the ball.
Robka in the corner, guarded by Casamajor. And Robka went out of bounds. And they turn it over right back to Rockland. 1:02 to play in the first half. Rockland leads 33-17.
Sean Riley and James Money Madden here bringing you this Abington, Sean Cotter, Abington Bank soccer, jeepers. It's the Abington Bank Sean Cotter basketball tournament. Our third game, I'm getting a little bit tired.
I hear ya. 3 games on the call, and 3:30 feels like 12 hours ago.
Yeah. Thanks. Everything, even when Cape Cod picks the ball away, it's bouncing right back to a Rockland player.
It's the type of first half we've had here. Kickball violation against Trey Merritt. 39.5 seconds to play in the first half.
Gavin Wardwell will inbound it, likely over to DJ Casamajor, which he does.
Casamajor's played a lot for the Bulldogs, just a freshman, but playing some terrific minutes early on, and he pump fake. And Moriarty in the post. It was pickpocketed by Merritt on the floor. Bodies flying everywhere, and Robka comes up with a loose ball. And Berry down the lane, lays it home in transition. Mike Berry with a transition layup. They cut the lead down to 14. And Trey Merritt draws the offensive foul. Moriarty charged with the call for the charging foul. And a little bit of a momentum swing in the favor of Cape Cod Academy. The second personal foul for Michael Moriarty. Nine seconds, a three-point attempt from Berry is short and out of bounds. It will head in the direction of Rockland. 5.1 seconds to play. Coming back into the game for the Bulldogs is Dominic White. He replaces Brandon Camo. Michael Moriarty also headed to the bench. Casamajor, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Three-point attempt from the corner from Wardwell is good at the buzzer. Gavin Wardwell with a corner 3 as time expires. And Rockland will head to the locker room with a 17-point lead, 36-19.
Well, that was a dagger there, that last one. They rolled the ball up at half court, and I agree with the fan next to me that I think they should have put pressure on, make him pick it up deeper, farther away, let the clock start rolling, and give the shooter less time to set and shoot. But they gave him enough time, and Wardwell made him pay for it. So 36-19 in the first half. We'll see what kind of second half we get out of both of these teams when we come back with more, I was going to say more Greenway basketball action, but it's more Bulldog and Seahawk action.
36-19 at the break. Rockland leads once again. I am James Madden. He is Sean Riley. Don't go anywhere because we have second half action for the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament. And we will see you right after the break. Welcome back inside Abington High School for some second half action in the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament between the Rockland Bulldogs and the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks. Once again, I am James Madden, joined alongside my wonderful broadcast partner, Sean Riley. And the first half, all Rockland, they lead by 17, 36-19. And having a little bit of trouble next to me is Sean Riley getting the headset back on, but he got there, Sean. A little bit of a up and down first half for Cape Cod Academy, but all Rockland as we headed into the break.
Yeah, nothing was falling as consistently for Cape Cod in the first half. Let's see if they turn that around. They spent a little extra time in the locker room. Let's see if it pays off.
Rockland opens the half with the possession. That's Daniel Johnson in the post. Mike Berry comes away with the steal. Maybe a promising start to the second half for the Seahawks. Mike Berry down the lane, his mid-range floater no good. Daniel Johnson came up with the rebound. And Tamar Washington with a big steal into Euro step. I don't know if I like that travel call. Thought Washington had a clean Euro step, but whistled for the travel.
Tough break for Tamar Washington there. Good defensive play. He's trying to turn it around, pick up 2 points. Leander.
Lucas Leander's three-point attempt is no good. DePina comes up with the rebound. Leander down the lane. His layup attempt no good. Thomas Brissett rebounds it. Trey Merritt in the corner. His three-point attempt is short. Thomas Brissett offensive rebound. And the layup attempt is good. Thomas Brissett with the follow for the Seahawks.
Good follow by Brissett.
Leander, top of the key. A little bit of a 2-3 zone for the Seahawks to open the second half.
Daniel Johnson running the baseline.
Wardwell. Now Moriarty high post. Johnson in the post now. Double teamed, rejected by Berry. And Mike Berry comes away with the rebound. A much better start defensively for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks in the second half. A pass intended for Merritt was poked out of bounds by Leander. Cape Cod Academy will keep the possession under the hoop with 23 seconds of the shot clock, 6:19 to go in the third quarter, and Coach Damon with an early timeout.
Yeah.
The second charge timeout for the Rockland Bulldogs.
Put some music on so they can't hear the coaches yelling at their team.
And we've said it before, very familiar with Rockland. Coach Damon, can be animated, so letting Daniel Johnson know the business, but that's what makes Daniel Johnson a better player, still only a sophomore.
Honest to goodness, he demands everything out of their players, and they get respect and they earn respect. And they're a very successful program over there. As is, of course, Cape Cod Academy with Adam Rhodes. A 15-point differential right now with 6:19 left to go in the third quarter. So I know I've asked you this question, but do you know the guy that invented the glass backboard, where did he teach high school?
I'm going to have to go the one and the only Abington High School.
Abington High School. Mr. Morey, Dick Morey, I actually knew him when I was a kid. He invented the glass backboard and the orange rim. It used to be black, and he changed it to orange.
Abington High revolutionized the game of basketball, and Jamison Cassidy and one. A terrific start to the second half for the Seahawks, and Cassidy has a chance to complete the three-point play.
Nice strong move by the freshman, Jamison Cassidy.
The third personal foul charged against Daniel Johnson. Cassidy short on his free throw attempt. Moriarty comes away with the rebound.
Nice pass underneath, but knocked away by Brissett.
Trey Merritt out and running with Washington. Merritt's mid-range jumper is good. Trey Merritt in transition. And Cape Cod Academy continues their hot start to the third quarter. Moriarty one-on-one with Brissett. Down the lane through the contact. No foul call. Mike Berry came away with the rebound but stepped out of bounds. Rockland will keep the possession under the hoop.
Both plays go down. Moriarty and the Cape Cod defender went down, no call. Pina kicks it out to Leander up top. Moriarty thought about it and steps it in. DePina for the three. Hits it.
Jordan DePina knocks down the corner three. A much needed bucket for the Rockland Bulldogs as Cape Cod Academy started to take over the momentum, but Jordan DePina silences the crowd for the time being. A pass intended for Cassidy was picked off by DePina, so some big-time plays for Jordan DePina to get the momentum back in the favor of Rockland.
So amazes me to see Moriarty bringing the ball up as the big man, but he can do it, man. Pass intercepted.
Thomas Brissett comes away with the steal. Trey Merritt, three-pointer in transition is no good. Rebounded by Gavin Wardwell, and Wardwell will slow it down for the Bulldogs. Moriarty in the post, guarded by Berry. Now Cassidy on the double team.
Nice flash by DePina.
And Brissett comes away with a defensive rebound. Thomas Brissett with a few rebounds to open the second half for the Seahawks. Trey Merritt down the lane, looking for Cassidy, was gathered by Berry, and Berry's layup attempt is short. And this is his follow again, and a foul call on the floor goes against Rockland. That foul will be charged against Jordan DePina.
Yeah, DePina didn't go straight up with the arm. He was swatting at it, and in doing that, hit Mike Berry on the way up.
The first personal for Jordan DePina.
Call it on the floor, though, so it's an inbounds play.
Three-point attempt from Berry is good. Mike Berry connects on a corner three.
All right.
And they cut the Rockland lead down to 11.
Berry starts getting hot. It changes the game.
Moriarty one-on-one with Brissett in the corner. Cross court to Wardwell. Wardwell's three-point attempt is off the mark. Rebounded by Trey Merritt. Tamar Washington in the corner. His three-point attempt is good. Tamar Washington with a big-time three for the Seahawks, and they cut the lead down to 8. Mike Berry comes away with the rebound. A lot of contact, no foul. Pass is picked off by Leander. Leander finds Moriarty, and Moriarty goes up and draws the foul. Foul charged against Jamison Cassidy. Moriarty will head to the line for 2 shots.
That's something if Cassidy can keep his feet on the ground there, not go with the pump fake. He was straight up, but once he gets in the air, then Moriarty's going to draw the foul.
The third personal foul for Jamison Cassidy. No good on his first attempt from the line is Michael Moriarty. A little bit of an unfriendly role for the Rockland Bulldog here in the gym of Abington High School. 1 for 2 from the line is Moriarty. Makes it a 40-31 game. Step back three from Washington is too long. Rebounded by Brissett. And Brissett on the follow. Draws the foul. Thomas Brissett will head to the line for 2 shots.
DePina gets the call. The foul underneath. Brissett will go to the line, shooting 2.
Second personal foul against Jordan DePina. Brissett knocks down his first free throw attempt.
And I think Matt Salmonte, Don Whitman, and Steve McGuire working the table for these 2 games tonight.
2 for 2 from the line is Thomas Brissett. They cut the Rockland lead down to 7. A great start for the second half for the Seahawks.
Nice interception there by Berry.
Mike Berry off to a terrific start as well to start the second half for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's changed up their defense here.
Rejected by Moriarty. Brissett in the corner, and he traveled with it. Coach Rose unhappy with the call, but Thomas Brissett whistled for the travel.
DePina bringing it up for the Bulldogs. DJ Casamajor. And it is picked off by Trey Merritt.
And Merritt through the contact and lays it in. Trey Merritt forces the turnover and then lays it home to cut the Rockland lead down to 5.
Pretty effective 2-3 defense right now, zone. Okay, got a ball thrown away as the intended receiver turned around, and it's going to be a foul picked up by DJ Casamajor. Compiling things here. A 5-point difference now, and Cape Cod has the ball.
What a start to the second half for the Seahawks. The first personal foul against Casamajor, and that is Brandon Camo coming in, replacing Dominic White 2:29 to play in the third quarter. Rockland leads by 5, 40-35. In the post, that's Cassidy, but fouled on the entry pass by Brandon Camo. Already the 15th foul for the Rockland Bulldogs in the third quarter.
Coach Damon, I think, is trying to tell Camo he wants him to get in front of Cassidy and not behind him. Sometimes it's easier said than done. They'll work on it. Washington to inbound, gets it. Cassidy, turn around, left-hand shot, in.
A beautiful finish at the rim by Jamison Cassidy, and it's now a one-possession game after what was a 17-point game at one point in the first half.
Seahawk bench is on their feet right now.
As they should, a terrific start.
This game has changed. What a catch by Moriarty, but Cassidy's going to be all over the back. Yeah, he got ball, but he also got body.
Michael Moriarty at the line for 2 shots. The 4th personal foul against Jamison Cassidy. Kyle Robke, not Robka. Kyle Robke ready to check back into the game for the Seahawks, and he'll replace Cassidy.
Moriarty hits the first one.
Box out.
No good on his second attempt as Moriarty. Robke with the rebound, and Trey Merritt in transition with the easy layup. Trey Merritt lays it home off the glass, and it's a 2-point game.
6 points in the third quarter from Merritt.
Casamajor one-on-one with Robke. Now that's DePina top of the key. Still a 2-3 zone. DePina from 3. Long rebounded by Moriarty, who gathered the offensive rebound. Moriarty's poked away by Washington. And an errant pass from DePina, and it's a turnover. Possession headed back in the direction of Cape Cod Academy. Mikey Santos, whose parents are right in front of us, ready to check back into this one. He replaces Thomas Brissett. In a timeout on the floor by Cape Cod Academy. Or rather, Rockland.
Yep.
Rockland with their 3rd timeout of the ball game. 1.5 to play in the third quarter. A very different start to the second half than what we saw in the first half. Rockland leads only by 2, 41-39.
Rockland's only scored 5 points here in the third quarter. And compared to the 20 points that Cape Cod has put on.
I guess the extra time in the locker room by Coach Adam Rose and the Seahawks has worked out for the Seahawks, and they've obviously cut into this deficit. They trailed by as many as 17 in the first half, now only trail by 2 with 1.5 minutes to play in the third quarter.
They changed up the defense a little bit. It's been pretty effective in kind of, getting in the passing lanes of Rockland. They just, some hustles, and the ball's frankly just bouncing their way now a little bit more than they were in the first half. So we got a ball game here, sports fans, in the championship game. I don't really think we expected any less, really. We were kind of surprised that Rockland was starting to pull away in the first half.
I mean, we talked before the game. We were both expecting a barn burner, and we got it just a little different route than we thought we'd get there, but Cape Cod Academy and Coach Adam Rose off to a terrific start in the second half. Down only 2 after, like I said, they trailed by as many as 17 in the first half.
1:30 to go in the third quarter. 2-point difference. But Cape Cod's got the ball here, looking to tie or take the lead.
And I think one thing that really hurt Cape Cod Academy, especially in the first half, was their foul trouble. Washington was on the bench with foul trouble. Cassidy and Mike Berry from 3 is short. Rebounded by Leander, but now Washington, Mike Berry, they're all in the game. I mean, Trey Merritt has done a great job staying out of foul trouble, but now that they're out of foul trouble, they're playing very well and now only trail by 2. DePina, top of the key, 1 minute to play in the third quarter. A lot of dribbling, not a lot of playmaking so far in the shot clock. Moriarty's corner 3 is good.
Oh!
Michael Moriarty. A quiet third quarter, but he makes a big shot for the Bulldogs, and they lead by 5, 44-39.
Got 5 points in the third quarter. That was 3 of them.
Kyle Robke in the corner, guarded by Johnson. Mike Berry. Long 2 is good. Mike Berry with a long 2 cuts into the deficit, 44-41. Mike Berry wishes he had some smaller feet on that one, but knocks down a big shot for the Seahawks. Shot clock turned off for the Bulldogs. They could hold for the last shot if they choose to. DePina, top of the key. Moriarty thought about it. Does pull up three is no good. Rebounded by Berry. 5 to shoot on the game clock. Washington, half-court heave at the buzzer is no good. It looks good off the front of the rim for Tamar Washington. We head to the fourth quarter in a very fun game after a very high pace in Cape Cod Academy led third quarter. Rockland heads into the fourth quarter leading by 3, 44-41.
Huge comeback. So the scoring in that quarter, Rockland had 8 points, and the Seahawks had 22. So a big comeback there coming out of the locker room on fire, and we'll see what the deciding stanza here is going to dictate who's going to be the champion this year. And it's really up for grabs right now.
Scoring in that quarter led mostly by Mike Berry and Trey Merritt. Merritt, who had a quiet first game, a terrific second game for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks after he had a terrific tournament last season for the Seahawks as well. I remember him as a standout player, which the Seahawks lost in the title game to the Green Wave.
All right, sports fans. Sean Riley and James Money Madden bring you the game here live and on tape from Abington Cam's facilities here at Abington High School.
Rockland with 5 team fouls compared to only 2 for Cape Cod Academy. Now that they're in their zone, which usually leads to less fouls, and an entry pass is almost stolen away by Taryn Williams. And a jump ball on the floor, which will favor Rockland. So Rockland forces the turnover.
Dangerous entry pass there by Washington. Out of character there. They're in that high 2-3 defense again,
which has really worked out very well to open the second half for the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks. Moriarty and one. Michael Moriarty through the contact. And they cut the lead down to, and they extend their lead to 5 with a chance to cap off the 3-point play.
How that ball just spun off the glass and in, I don't know. Moriarty is really a magician sometimes underneath there.
Second personal foul goes against Mike Berry.
Puts the lead back up to 6, though. A lot of time left. Rockland with the hands up, trying to make those passing lanes even all the more tighter, and a high pass going to be thrown out of bounds.
7:23 to play in the fourth quarter. A lot of basketball and a lot of time for Cape Cod Academy, who has shown that they can score in bunches if they catch fire from the field. And we've seen Trey Merritt comes away with a steal. And will slow it down, doesn't force it. They didn't have the numbers. Mikey Santos in the post, Tamara Washington in the corner. 3-point attempt from the wing is off the mark, rebounded by Mikey Santos.
Big strikes.
And he lays it in, a terrific hustle play by Mikey Santos.
Santos, that was clutch underneath.
They cut the lead down to 4. Rockland leads 47-43.
DePina pull up pop, bang.
Jordan DePina has made shots when they needed it most all tournament long for the Bulldogs, and he does it once again. Rockland back up by 6. Washington loses the handle and is whistled for a travel call. Tamar Washington. Rockland takes back the possession. 6:28 to play in the fourth quarter. They lead by 6.
DePina and Leander will bring it up for the Bulldogs. Another steal by Trey Merritt.
Trey Merritt comes away with the steal. Thought about a 3. Kyle Robke. Now that's Mike Berry. Mike Berry from deep is no good.
Looking to see Robke take some threes, especially from the corner. I think he was enjoying his baseline threes the other game on Monday night.
A few threes for Robke Monday night in their 82-81 victory over Abington, our own Green Wave. DePina guarded by Merritt, and Merritt whistled for the reach-in call.
Trying to get his third takeaway, but foul called on that one. Just under 6 minutes with 6-point difference here. Again, I want to thank Abington Bank for sponsoring this tournament. Great basketball.
in Merritt. Another foul call on the push. That'll be his third personal foul. Wardwell back into the game for the Bulldogs, replacing Lucas Leander.
Timeout call by the Seahawks now. They're going to talk about it. Rockland possession, and they're down by 6.
5:52 to play in the fourth quarter of the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament Championship between the Cape Cod Academy Seahawks and the Rockland Bulldogs.
Baby, this game looked like it might be a runaway from Rockland when it was a 36-19 differential at the half, but the Hawks came out flying and coming out of the locker room after the break, and they were within distance, but Rockland looking to pull away. We'll see who's successful here in the remaining 5.52. Want to congratulate Abington Cam and Kevin Tachi, Kevin Whalen, the crew that did the Abington Rockland Super Bowl game at Gillette Stadium for winning the award for the Massachusetts Creators Award for Massachusetts Cable Television for the best event coverage of 2002. I was happy to be part of that game. Me and Kevin Whalen and I, as you know, do the commentary for football, but it's all due to the camera work. Also, Matt Nelson and Matt Lyons, Kevin Tachi, Mike Simmons. A lot of fun doing it. We're very proud to have been awarded, I think, that prestigious award for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. All right, back to the action.
Daniel Johnson, that's Jordan DePina on the wing. Moriarty thought about the three. Gavin Wardwell finds Johnson in the post. Johnson pump fake and rejected by Santos.
Ooh,
Mikey Santos with another big time play for the Seahawks. And Rockland will keep the possession.
Inbound by DePina.
10 on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. Taryn Williams got the key now. Moriarty, 6 to shoot. Guarded by Washington. DePina is going to need to get a shot off.
1.
A heave over the head. Soccer throw-in. Shot attempt was off the mark in a 35-second violation. Terrific defense from Adam Rhodes' squad. Their 2-3 zone working to perfection in the second half of this one.
Rockland coaches switching up their defensive assignments there. Washington and Merritt out of the guard positions.
Mike Berry in the corner. Mid-range pull-up is good. Mike Berry with a crafty pull-up to cut the Rockland lead down to 4, 49-45 with 4:50 to play. And Tamar Washington comes away with a loose ball.
Berry driving the lane, goes up, and he's going to get the foul on number 20, Daniel Johnson, I believe it is.
A blocking foul against Johnson. Mike Berry headed to the line for 2 shots. Coming from a Tamar Washington forced turnover.
I don't think Berry's been at the line all game.
Terrific game Monday night in their win over Abington. Him and alongside Tamar Washington stole the show for the Seahawks. Is good on his first attempt. Checking back in is Leander, replacing Taryn Williams. Two for 2 from the line is Mike Berry, and it's a one-possession game once again. Rockland leads 49-47. Wardwell in the corner, guarded by Rob Key. Merritt almost came away with the steal. Daniel
nice pass
Johnson
underneath.
And Johnson lays it home, an easy bucket at the rim. Rockland back up by 4. Merritt, now that's Santos in the post. Was poked away out of bounds. Last touched Lucas Leander. They'll have a baseline out of bounds with 4:18 to play in the fourth quarter. Rockland leads by 4, 51-47.
24 on the shot clock. Nice pass underneath to Santos.
Mikey Santos lays it home, and it's a one-possession game once again. Mikey Santos with some huge minutes for the Seahawks. Terrific game in this championship game.
Whose kid is that? DePina Moriarty held up by...
Foul call goes against Kyle Robke.
It is
He's
Robke,
second
yeah.
personal.
Moriarty going to the line with a 2-point lead.
Terran Williams ready to check back in for the Bulldogs. Moriarty is good on his first free throw attempt. Williams replaces Daniel Johnson.
I have Moriarty at 25 points right now, unofficially. 26.
2 for 2 from the line is Moriarty. Terrific player, terrific athlete for the Bulldogs, like we previously mentioned. Also the quarterback of their football team. Berry one-on-one with Leander. A mid-range pull-up is good.
Bang.
Mike Berry is starting to feel it. Mike Berry, a terrific start to the fourth quarter. And Coach Adam Rose calls a timeout with 3:16 to play in the fourth. Rockland leads by 2, 53-51.
Wow, it was a big pull-up pop there by Berry. Keeps it within 2. Rockland will have the ball on their defensive end of the court here with 3:16 to go. Cape Cod knocking at the door. They still haven't been able to catch up to Rockland, though, throughout the entire game here. And the Bulldogs, of course, like to take the trophy home to Rockland for the 2023 Cotter tournament.
I like Creighton. Look at that. Creighton and Miami, my 2 sleeper teams. Back to the action. Moriarty thought about the corner 3. Trying to create a little bit of separation. Wardwell. DePina under 3 minutes to play. Moriarty wide open in the corner.
Good defense. Johnson trying to drive, loses the handle though.
Trey Merritt comes away with the steal.
Looking to tie with a shot. They tie it up with 2:44 to go.
Trey Merritt with a transition J, and it's a 53-53 ball game. After a 17-point Rockland lead in the first half, it's all tied up with 2.5 to play. Mikey Santos came away with the steal.
Wardwell gets stuck in the air trying to make a pass. Trying to look for Moriarty. The Seahawks are in the passing lane. All tied up here with 2:22 to go.
Washington, now that's Berry, top of the key. Got Moriarty to leave his feet, and DePina came away with the steal. Down court pass to Moriarty, and Moriarty lays it home in transition. They force turnover from DePina, and he finds Moriarty in transition, and Rockland back out in front. Merritt down the lane, and a blocking foul goes against Lucas Leander. Trey Merritt will head to the line for 2 shots.
You know, I got to say something about, and kudos to these guys out here on both teams for the sportsmanship. There's a couple times where bodies are on the court, and the opposing players helping them up. You know, some guys don't like that. I think it's a classy move, you know, especially when it's not an intentional foul. You knock a guy down, they're kind of playing good defense. You get the call, pick him up. Trey misses the first of 2. Jamison Cassidy, the big freshman, coming in now.
Cassidy, we haven't seen much of him in the second half. He picked up his 4th personal foul early in the 3rd quarter, but back into the game. Merritt 1 for 2 from the line. Rockland leads by 1, 55-54.
Ooh, baby.
And who would have thought after a 17-point lead, it's now a 1-point lead under 2 to play in the 4th quarter.
You know, this is one of the game where you learn, you know, coming into the tournament, that if you're down big at half, you can get back in, and if you're up big, you can lose it.
Moriarty may have gotten away with an offensive foul, but he missed it, and it was rebounded by Jamison Cassidy. And who would have said this? Cape Cod Academy with a chance to take the lead for the first time of the ball game.
Oh. Cassidy being called for a move and pick. I don't know about that one. Oh, that's his 5th. He's out. I was just going to compliment Cassidy on that last play underneath the basket where he didn't leave his feet. He just maintained his ground and thwarted Moriarty.
And Jamison Cassidy, like you said, fouls out of the ball game with 1:27 to play. Mikey Santos right back in for the Seahawks. Santos has provided some great minutes for the Seahawks with Cassidy in foul trouble for the most of the Wardwell down the lane. Johnson one-on-one with Berry. Now that's Washington and Berry with a double team and
jump ball.
A jump ball.
And there's going to be a timeout by Fred Damon.
48.6 seconds to play in this one. Fred Damon and the Rockland Bulldogs call a timeout. They lead by 1, 55-54.
48 seconds? Unbelievable. I mean, they're going to be looking at who the MVP of the tournament is and who the all-tournament players are from each team, and you can pick a couple from each team. I'm not going to say anything out loud because it's picked from the scorer's table. Got a lot of good candidates out there.
Whoever it is, we trust Mr. Don Whitman, the best scorekeeper in all of the land, to make the right selection down there.
Unbelievable. He's been doing it since the 1970s.
No other person we'd rather have captaining our scorer's table.
For those teams that stuck around to watch this game, they have been certainly entertained, as have we. 1-point ball game here.
It is interesting Sandwich has stuck around for the entire game, but Cape Cod Academy, another Cape and Islands League team, so they are very familiar with each other. 48 seconds to play, and Rockland will obviously be in no rush, but they will need a bucket to maybe make it a 3-point game or a 4-point game.
Knocked away from Moriarty, then he breaks it away and scores the hoop.
And Moriarty through the traffic lays it home. Rockland leads by 3. A 1-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, not even a second. Mike Berry thought about it. Kyle Robke, Trey Merritt from the corner is short. And it is rebounded by Santos. He saves it. And Berry's follow is no good. And Daniel Johnson with the rebound and an intentional foul with 18.4 seconds to play. Mikey Santos fouls him, and that'll be Daniel Johnson headed to the line for 2 shots. Or rather, a 1-and-1.
Yep, 1-and-1. So live ball if he misses the first one. Still time on the clock. You know, we've seen some heroics happen in Green Wave and Boston Garden.
What a game that was.
Oh, one of the best ever. The sophomore, Johnson.
A shot Will Klein will never forget. Johnson, ice cold at the line on his first attempt. Pushes it to a 2-possession game. Cape Cod Academy still with 2 timeouts remaining. 18 seconds to play.
Looking for Cape Cod to call a timeout if he hits it here.
Johnson 1 for 2 from the line and rebounded by Santos. They're going to need a quick bucket. Tamar Washington, deep 3 is no good. Rebounded by Kyle Robke. He saves it, finds Santos. Washington from 3 again, no good. Berry with the rebound, and he
Going to immediately foul and hope that they miss the foul shot. But Rockland's going to get 2. Right, or the one-on-one.
They're still in the one-on-one.
Oh, the one-on-one,
so
yeah.
I think if you're Coach Adam Rose, you have to immediately foul. There's not enough time to try and draw and force a turnover. And even if you're Rockland, you might be in territory where you maybe miss intentionally, maybe knock down the first one intentionally because it's 2.7 seconds. You don't want to give them a chance to draw a play up, and maybe they do get a timeout, but that's going to be, a second left with all the fouling and rebounding. So I think Cape Cod Academy's going to need to foul immediately and hope for the best. They still have 1 timeout remaining, so definitely will come to good use if it remains a 1-possession ball game.
And it's going to be in the backcourt of Rockland, which is the offensive side for Cape Cod. Obviously, they'd love to steal the inbounds pass, but still only 2.7.
And this is them hoping for the 5-second violation because Leander is unable to inbound it to himself, obviously. And a quick foul from Tamar Washington. Only 0.7 seconds ran off the clock. Michael Moriarty will head to the line for a 1-and-1, and if you're Rockland, that's the guy you want at the line. He's been your top player tonight. So a 1-and-1 knocks down the first. You're in a much better spot. Misses the first. Coach Adam Rhodes, I can imagine, will call a quick timeout.
Now, if he misses this, Rockland really just playing a full-court man here almost. They don't want to. Certainly don't want to foul, but don't want to get an uncontested shot. All right, there's the 3-point. This one, if he makes it, would be a dagger.
And a much-needed free throw there by Moriarty. Ice cold for the senior captain. And like you said, it all comes down to this one free throw. For Rockland and Cape Cod Academy. Moriarty is good on the second half of the 1-and-1, and it's a 4-point game with 2 seconds to play. Washington's full court heave is off the mark, and that'll do it here at Abington High School. The final score of the Sean P. Cotter Invitational Tournament Championship. Rockland 60, Cape Cod Academy 56, and it was a classic here. A game 19 in the first half. Cape Cod Academy climbed all the way back, but fell just short. A terrific performance from Michael Moriarty, Sean, and it was just an all-around amazing game for both teams. They all left it out on the floor.
Really did. I mean, great comeback there by Cape Cod. I got to give credit where credit's due there, coming back strong in the second half, but Rockland really just kept the pace. Did it? You mentioned it. Moriarty is just a force out there. It was great, and likely going to be on the all tournament. We'll see if he gets the MVP. We'll announce that in just a few seconds. But Money, I want to say thank you for letting me do this with you. I'm going to run down to the scorer's table and make some announcements. So thanks again, and thanks again for everyone helping out.
Thank you for joining me. It was a pleasure, and as you can imagine, a ton of respect between Coach Fred Damon and Coach Adam Rose. But once again, and as always, who knows where I'll be next time. Last game scheduled here at Abington High School, but if we're on the road for a playoff game, we're on the road. But once again, I am James Madden on behalf of my broadcast partner, Sean Riley, everyone here at Abington Cam, our producers, Kevin Tachi and Ian. I am James Madden saying so long from Abington High School and good night. Thank you for tuning in.